Well, hey there, friends, and happy Thursday. We've almost made it to the weekend, and we've braved a lot of heat this week. Currently, we're getting a little bit of a break because of the rain, and that's going to continue tomorrow as well as Saturday. But even though we braved the heat this week, it's actually going to get worse into next week. I have a little bit more of a detail to give you a hint at what we're expecting into next week coming up, but I think it's important to go over the heat safety overall. So I made a presentation to kind of give you the do's and don'ts as well as what to look for, and including your pets. I feel like our furry friends get overlooked a lot of the time, but they can experience this too. So let's get straight into it. We all know that heat can be dangerous. It affects our health, our activities, and even our pets. So I'm going to go over some heat safety for us, fun activities you can still do to enjoy your summer before the kiddos go back to school, and keeping your pets safe. Now, these are the main things you need to know. Heat-related illness, heat exhaustion versus heat stroke. When you can see heat exhaustion in yourself or other people, these are the signs you can look for. Know these signs. Faintness or dizziness, excessive sweating, cool, pale, clammy skin, rapid or a weak pulse, and muscle cramps are all signs of heat exhaustion. Now, if you're experiencing any of these or your loved ones are experiencing this, the things you need to do is to get into a cool or air-conditioned place, drink water if conscious, and then take a cool shower or use a cold compress. Now, also pay attention, these could get worse and lead to a heat stroke. This is something that is a medical emergency. The signs of this is a throbbing headache, nose sweating, red hot or dry skin, rapid and a strong pulse, and you may lose consciousness. This is when you need to call 911. Do not obviously move them into a cool place, but call 911 as you do so. This is a medical emergency. So these are the signs of those heat-related illnesses we will talk about all the time on air. These are the signs you need to know. The key safety tips to prevent these heat-related illnesses include stay hydrated, water over soda, and how much to drink. So always know, especially if you're outside, if you are working outdoors, drink about your body weight and then a little bit more. But don't over drink either. That's also an important thing to keep in mind. Avoid peak heat hours. That's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those are the hottest hours of the day, especially around 2, 3 o'clock. That is the hottest hour of the day. Wear lightweight clothing, light colored clothing. Black, dark colors are what you don't want to see. One of the things with sunlight is dark colors absorb it. So you want those light colors to reflect that heat off of you, so you won't heat up as fast in lighter colored clothing. Use sunscreen and reapply often, and like I said, know the signs of heat related illnesses and act quickly. Here is a list of cool activities you can do. Here are some indoor activities. Visit air-conditioned places, libraries, movie theaters, malls, museums, etc. These are good ones to do with the kiddos. Try indoor mini golf or trampoline parks. There's a lot of activities to do within the city or anywhere else within our viewing area. Host a board game or video game day with your friends and family. Reading, watching a movie, those are good ones too. Movie marathons are always a good idea. One summer, my friend and I did a Marvel movie marathon and watched everything in chronological order. That's another good idea to do. Or if you're into DC, you can do that there as well. Another list of things you can do, morning or evening walk/hikes. This is also an important one to keep in mind with your furry friends. A lot of people go walking with their pets. Do it before 10 a.m. or do it after 6 p.m. During heat-related events like this one, another thing to keep in mind is the pavement. What the temperature is outside, it can get to about 160 degrees on the asphalt or the pavement. So if you're going walking with your pets, feel the pavement when you do so. I feel like 10 a.m. is kind of cutting it close. It's been getting really hot. It's been in the 80s before 7 o'clock in the morning, so make sure that's a good telltale sign. If it's too hot for your hands, it's too hot for their paws. So walking shoes are an idea too, but that's one way to test if the pavement is walkable for your furry friends. Another fun one for the kiddos is water balloon fights or sprinkler play, visiting splash pads or shaded playgrounds, paddling or kayaking. Make sure you protect your skin. Hats, sun protection, hydration are key. Backyard camping with a fan or misting system, that's a good idea too. Gardening in the shade or containers, gardening on a porch. Maybe if you want to start a garden, this is a good time to start an indoor one. And then when it gets a little cooler outside, that's going to be the time where you can transition it outside. So if you're interested in gardening, maybe start your own indoor garden, and then when they get a little bit more bigger and mature, your plants, that's when you can start to move them outside in the fall time when it's a little bit cooler out there. And here's some water-based fun: swimming in a pool, lake, or beach. Obviously sunscreen and hydration, and pay attention to those rip current risks. Slip and slide set up in your yard. One thing that I did as a kid was, my brother and I, we were into baseball and softball. We did that slip and slide homemade DIY where you use garbage bags or the things and put soap and water, and you can make like a baseball diamond with it. And playing with the mist fan or spray bottle is another good idea. Now, pet safety, why it's important. Pets can also overheat fast, but they can't sweat like we do. Certain breeds, like pugs or bulldogs, are especially sensitive because they have issues with their respiratory system. So it's a little harder for them to breathe and regulate their breath and their heart rate. And what to do? Never leave a pet in a car, even with the windows cracked. Walk dogs early or late, like I said, before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. Hot pavement burns paws. I already just told you what to do to determine if the pavement is too hot. If you touch it with your fingertips, it's too hot for your fingertips. It is too hot for their paws. And if your pet is going to be outside for a few hours or a little bit prolonged period of time, I highly do not recommend that, but if that is what you have to do, make sure you provide shade for them, fresh water, and cooling options such as pet-safe ice treats, water bowls with ice, and they do make splash pads for puppies or cooling mats as well. Those are good ideas. And then signs of heat stress in pets. These 3 signs: panting, lethargic, and vomiting. Those are the 3 things to look for in your furry friends. And this is what to really look for with your furry friends, to get into detail: excessive panting or drooling, acting tired or weak, bright red gums or tongue, vomiting or diarrhea, unsteady walking or collapse, rapid heart rate, and glossy or unfocused eyes. If you notice these signs, move your pet to a cooler area immediately and give them a cool, not cold, water, and call your vet right away. When we say cool and not cold, it's kind of like when you burn your hand. You should never run it under directly cold water. You should start it cool and then progressively get colder. So that's why we say do cool water instead of cold water. Now, this is what I really want to talk about, because the heat is going to be worse next week. We've been in the mid to upper 90s the last 2 weeks. This weekend, we're starting a little bit on the cooler side. As you can see, on Sunday, we'll be at 95 degrees. But Monday and Tuesday, 98. And this is a temperature, not the feels like temperature. We are going to be 6 degrees above average. The average for around this time of year is around 91, 92 degrees. So that is extremely hot. And we'll be in the mid 90s the remainder of next week. Wednesday and Thursday will be 95 and 94 degrees. So with hot temperatures comes hot heat index values. We'll be 96 on Thursday. We're 96 on Thursday. Then we're progressively going to climb from that. We'll be at a 98 tomorrow. We're a little bit on the quote-unquote cooler side because we still see those showers and thunderstorms being experienced, so we will not heat up as fast. But going into the weekend, 104 on Saturday, 107 on Sunday. But take a look at Tuesday, 112 degrees. So we are obviously going to see heat advisories with this ridging that is coming into play. But now we're going to start questioning if we're going to see excessive heat warnings or watches with these temperatures next week. So one of the reasons I do mention to protect yourself and your pets is it's going to get hotter. It is going to continue to get hotter. We've been seeing it the last 2 weeks, but we've been in the mid to upper 90s. Now we're going to be in the upper 90s, and that heat index value can continue to climb as we get closer to next week. So We're going to continue to tamper off with our rain. We have a 40% chance of rain on Saturday. Then our rain chances go to about a 10 to 20% to start off next work week. So it is going to be hot out there. Make sure you are taking care of yourselves, taking care of your loved ones, taking care of those sensitive to the heat like kids and the elderly. Check on your friends, check on your neighbors, and also protect your pets. This is a time where the heat is very dangerous. It is always going to be dangerous. We know it's hot here along the Gulf Coast, but when we see temperatures like this is when we start to get concerned for things like heat-related illnesses. It doesn't take that long. It can take 15 to 20 minutes, it can take a couple hours. It just depends on the person. So knowing the signs, staying hydrated, finding ways to stay cool are the best things to do over the summer, and taking care of your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for watching Next Weather. We'll see you tomorrow.